everyone, my name is Shauna in case you don't know, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing the Marvel tag. There's a list of questions and I'm just going to try and answer them all. Warning though that I have some very unpopular Marvel opinions, so prepare to get offended if you are obsessed with Marvel. The first one is favorite film. I always flip-flop back and forth between which film is my favorite, but I think that there's three that are always in my top three. So I'll just say those three. It's really hard to narrow it down to just one right now. I really liked Avengers Age of Ultron, its introduction of Scarlet Witch, and my favorite out of Scarlet Witch's costumes, and its introduction of Vision, and I feel like the way Ultron was created and everything was like really cool. Yeah, I'm just obsessed with Age of Ultron. I know that people's favorite Avengers movie oftentimes isn't Age of Ultron, but for me it is. For me, Infinity War and Endgame were so hyped up that they disappointed me, but I watched Age of Ultron before I got like super into Marvel Online, so I had no expectations and I was blown away. And then the other two films that are ranking up there with my top favorites are Thor Ragnarok. I wasn't a huge fan of Thor's character earlier in the Marvel universe until Ragnarok came around, and then I figured out that I really liked Thor in that movie and I really liked all of the characters in that movie. I really liked Valkyrie and I liked seeing the Hulk or Bruce Banner in that movie. And then Korg is one of my favorite characters and he's in Thor Ragnarok. I just think Taika Waititi did such a great job with Thor Ragnarok and I cannot wait to see Thor Love and Thunder. Taika Waititi is amazing. He has been a blessing to bring him into the Marvel universe. The other one that's always up there with my top three, always competing for my favorite, although I can never choose a favorite, is Black Panther. Black Panther was one that I had no expectations for going in. I wasn't actually that interested in the plot going in, like it didn't interest me that much, but I was like, I have to see it, it's a Marvel movie, and then I went and saw it and I was just amazed. It was so incredible. The soundtrack was so perfectly paired with all of the different scenes that it like increased my happiness and like my intense emotions while watching that film, and I absolutely loved the costumes in Black Panther. And Black Panther is one of my favorite characters in the Marvel universe, Shuri. Number two, which films have you seen? I have seen most of them, so I'm going to tell you which films I have not seen because that's a shorter list. I have not seen Spider-Man Far From Home, I haven't seen Deadpool 2, I haven't seen the first two Thors, haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, and have not seen Black Widow. But I will hopefully watch all of those sometime soon. Number three, favorite character. I have so many favorite characters, but Shuri is my number one favorite character. She is such a really cool character with such a fun personality and I absolutely love her. Number four, least favorite character. You are gonna hate me for this. I've actually cosplayed this character, so this is gonna come as a shock to people. I don't like Tony. Iron Man, I don't like him. He's so cocky and full of himself, and his character just rubs me the wrong way. And I really hate like arrogant and cocky rich people, in case you can't tell. Any movie that I watch where a character is like really cocky and arrogant, that character is always my least favorite. Like, it's just the character type that I cannot stand. Number five, OTPs. I don't really ship Marvel ships that much, but I do have one Marvel ship, which is Sam Bucky. I love Sam Bucky. I never really got into the Steve Bucky. Like, I definitely watch Steve Bucky edits. I still sometimes do. Like, I really appreciate that ship. But Sam and Bucky have more chemistry to me. And watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I was like, oh, you two are perfect. Also, I have only seen one episode of Loki so far, so it's probably too soon to judge. But I do think that Mobius and Loki would make a cute couple. Their ship name is Lokius, I think. I follow a lot of people who are obsessed with Loki, so I know a little bit about it. Next up is NOTPs. So these are like basically ships that you really don't like. I don't like most Marvel ships. I really don't. And my NOTPs are probably the characters that are actually together in the Marvel movies. The one exception is the couple in Black Panther. I thought they were sort of cute together, but all of the other couples in the movies, I was like, this is not a good couple. I don't vibe with this. I don't like it. I did not like Steve going back in time to be with Peggy, although I sort of liked it because it meant that he was still like living at the end of Endgame as opposed to like Iron Man leaving by dying. But I also didn't like it because I never liked Steve and Peggy together, and I don't like Tony and Pepper together very much. And yeah, I just don't like the characters that they put together in the movies. They don't have that much chemistry with each other. Number seven, bro TP. So this is like one-true pairings, but like bros, you know, like you're shipping them, but not like shipping them in a romantic way, shipping them in like a they're bros way. For this, I'm going with Tony and Steve, even though I don't like Tony. I do like them as a bro TP, and Bucky and Steve. Again, don't like them as a couple, but like them as like bros, you know? Number eight, favorite line. I don't have one. Lines from movies and shows don't stick with me that much. The only one that's really stuck with me is like the sad Infinity War quotes, but those wouldn't be my favorite because they're sort of like heartbreaking and sad, so I don't really have favorite lines. I guess Korg's lines in Thor Ragnarok might be my favorites if I really had to choose. Number 9, which character do you relate to the most? So don't judge me for this, but Thor in Avengers Endgame. A lot of people just saw that and thought that it was like fat phobic what they were doing. I agree that he should not have worn fat suits and that being fat should have not been a joke in the movie. I do agree with that. But he had PTSD, and like when they mentioned Thanos' name and he like shouted like, "Don't say his name," or something along those lines when Thor did that, that was like really relatable to me. I have PTSD, I suffer from flashbacks, and my number one trigger is names. And so I just really related to Thor, and I really felt seen through Thor's PTSD representation in that movie. Now it could have been done better, but I'm glad that we did have some PTSD representation that I really related to in the Marvel Universe. Number 10, Team Iron Man or Team Cap? Obviously Team Captain America. I don't like Iron Man. And also, even if I did like Iron Man, you basically have someone who wants to follow the rules and someone who'd risk their life to save a friend. I would risk my life to save a friend because those are where my values align. It's less of, oh, I need to do what's technically right, and more of like, I need to do what my heart is telling me to do. So I really agreed with Cap's position in Civil War. If you had to be one of the characters for a day, which would it be and why? Yo. I typed out these questions, like I copied them and then I like typed in my answers, and I did this like a while ago. Why did I put that I wanted to be Scarlet Witch's brother for a day? Like, what? Okay, in all honesty, which character would I want to be for a day? I'd probably want to be Valkyrie. She is just really cool, and she knows some really cool people, and I feel like it would be fun to be her for a day. Number 12, which upcoming film are you most excited for? I'm really excited for Shang-Chi. It just looks really good, and I'm really excited to see a new Marvel superhero because I feel like a lot of the movies and shows that have been coming out recently have been characters that we already knew, and I'm sort of like ready for something fresh, so I'm really ready for Shang-Chi. I also think that the main actor is like a really cool guy. I follow him on social media. I've seen everything that he's been posting. He seems like really awesome, so I really want to go and support his movie. Number 13 says, which film do you want? I'm guessing that means like on DVD, like which film do you want to buy? Which film do you want to have access to? For me, that's Spider-Man Far From Home. I have not seen it. I don't have any way to access it without paying more, and I'm already paying for so many streaming services. I just like want that film. I just need to like push through and buy the film, or maybe I'll put it on like my wish list for my birthday this year. I don't know. Number 14, do you read fanfics? Sometimes, but not too often. I am in the middle of writing an Avengers fanfiction that I've been writing for like a while, and I have read some Avengers fanfictions. I don't really read shipping ones. I sort of like to read the self-insert fanfictions for Marvel. I don't know why, I just do. So yeah, I do read fanfiction, I do write it, but I'm not like super intense into fanfiction. I feel like if more fanfiction were added to Goodreads so that like reading a full fanfiction would count as reading a book, then I feel like I'd read fanfiction more. Number 15, if you were writing the next Avengers film, which direction would you steer the story in? I'm not sure, but I would have Taika Waititi direct it. I would have him be in charge of everything. I really love the direction that he's taking the MCU into, so I'd love for him to be like in charge of the directing and everything for the next Avengers movie because I feel like he would make it really funny. I love this funny direction that Marvel is taking. Like at first it was like, oh, serious, we have to be serious all the time, and now it's like we can lighten up and have some humor, and I really like that. I also hope that they continue to have hard-hitting and important messages in Marvel movies. I feel like there's some really important and meaningful messages in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so I feel like I want Taika Waititi's directing mixed with the good messages that we got in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Number 16, how were you introduced to the MCU? I was introduced with the first Captain America film. We would just watch movies around like pay-per-view every like Friday or Saturday night, and somehow we ended up choosing Captain America, the first Avenger, to watch. But the thing is, I wasn't super hooked after that movie. That isn't my favorite of the Marvel movies. Like, it's nowhere near my top. I found that it was slow in some parts, so that isn't really what got me like super invested in the MCU. It was the Avengers film, the first one, that really got me more like invested, and it made me a fan of MCU, so yeah. I feel bad saying this, but a lot of the Marvel movies that focus just on a single hero instead of focusing on like the Avengers team up are slightly boring to me. So like the Iron Man movies were dull, The second one had a little bit of fun stuff with Black Widow in there. First Captain America movie I wasn't a huge fan of. I have not even seen the first 2 Thor movies because they do not seem interesting to me because it's not a team up, it's just Thor, and I wasn't a huge fan of like original Thor when he was first introduced, so yeah. That is my major unpopular opinion that I've just exposed in this video. Number 17 is Avengers favorite to least favorite. I'm just gonna do the original Avengers, the original 6, because I feel like if I did all of the Avengers that are currently classified as Avengers, this video would be like 2 hours long. So in order with the originals, it goes Captain America is in number 1, and then it goes to Hawkeye, which is an unpopular opinion, but I really liked Hawkeye. I've always had a thing for like bow and arrows too, so Hawkeye is definitely number 2 for me. And next up is Hulk. I'm not a huge fan of like Hulk when he's like hulked out, but I like Bruce Banner, and I really like Mark Ruffalo and his take on the Hulk. Next up is Black Widow. I definitely love Black Widow. I think that this movie that recently came out, even though I haven't seen it yet, it's well deserved and it should have came out sooner. And then we have Thor. I like Thor now. I didn't like Thor when he was first introduced, that's why he's so low on this list. And then obviously last place is Iron Man. I don't like Iron Man, which is weird that I've cosplayed Iron Man, but it is what it is. I just have that dress, so I just sometimes take pictures as Iron Man in a dress, you know? It's just fun. So yeah, that was all of the questions for this tag. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to me if you haven't already. All of these questions will be linked down in the description below in case you would like to do the Marvel tag. I 100% respect your Marvel opinions. I know that people will disagree with me. It's completely okay. Like, most of my friends, I feel like, do not like Hawkeye, and I'm this like sole one of my friends who likes Hawkeye. So like, it's okay, you're chill, you're still welcome here if you have different opinions than me. And also, if you do have a different opinion than me and you want to share it, feel free to leave it down in the comment section below. I upload videos 3 times a week, so my next video will be uploaded next Monday. I hope all of you have a great weekend, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!